So a lot of times when getting into fly fishing, we look at things and we get real confused because there's a lot. There's a lot in fly fishing that a lot of factors, a lot of things that you enjoy, a lot of things that you really like, a lot of things that catch your eye. For example, this is a $350 reel. What's it for? Trout. Do I need it? No. Why did I get it? Because it was shiny and it looked cool. The vast majority of fish that you're going to catch on a fly rod, you don't really need a real elaborate track system. You don't. In fact, a lot of times when fly fishing, whether it be for trout, bass, carp, name a fish, muskie, you rarely use the drag system at all. Even with a muskie, a lot of times people you'll give some line. A lot of times with the hand, barely do you actually have to give up ground, because a lot of times you're using a real heavy rod and real heavy either like mono or reel or a bite leader. So with your rods, tippet protection, it being stout, and the heavy line, you don't really need drag system for a muskie. There's only very few things in freshwater that actually need that drag system. So what do you need if you're just starting out? Let's say you're just going for trout, and you're starting out. And when you start fly fishing, you're going to see a whole bunch of things. A reel like this ID here, it's Redington ID. Nothing fancy. Some metal alloy reel. It's fine. This would be perfect. When you first start out and you're just fishing and you're just trying to get your stuff down, having a reel that has a real complicated or a real sophisticated, that's the word I'll probably use, sophisticated track system is unnecessary. Redington makes a good low-end reel. White River, good low-end reel, which is a Cabela's company. And you can even find some good priced, more medium range reels at like Orvis or Lamson or TFO. For example, really good lower end reel that I have is this. This is a bait and kill. A bait and kill 2 BBS. I've had this reel for over 10 years. Does exactly what I needed to do. Never had an issue with it besides some cleaning. And this only set me back like, I don't know, at the time I think this was like 80, 90 bucks. Nothing real sophisticated. It's just a click and drag, it's just, type reel. I mean, it's just you turn the knob for drag more, drag less. There's nothing real crazy about it. Now, when you first start out, I wouldn't spend more than 80, 90 bucks for a reel. In all honesty, I would encourage to stay around between 30 and 50. Just get you a reel to hold your line. Get good at managing line with your hands, okay? That is going to be the vast majority of your interaction with fish regarding your line. Your line management, the vast majority of it's going to be with your hands. Get good at that. Trust your hands. Trust how you feel the rod with your hands. That's what you're going to want to build up. Because even when you start getting more sophisticated reels, when you start getting more, start going for more hard fighting, drag pulling fish like carp or steelhead, or let's say you go saltwater, almost any fish that's of decent size in saltwater is going to rip your drag. It is going to make it scream. So if you are learning, 50 to 80, okay? All right. if you're just starting out, 30 to about 60, 70, maybe 80. If you find a good bait, if you find a good deal on a bait and kill, I would get that. It's going to last you forever. It's a great reel. Now, that being said, when you start going up in class, when you start spending the $100 to $200, you start getting into companies like Orvis, Sage, TFO. Like TFO's BVK is, let me see, do I got it? Yes, I do. Their high-end reel is a BVK right here. It's very nice reel, okay? That's what I want. Is it anything super fancy? No, it's just very well put together, okay? So, large arbor reel, very nice. Okay, so, it handles drag a little bit better, handles pulling a little bit better. It's the reel I use for one of my Euro rods, which I typically use for Euro streamers, okay? It's a 10'6" TFO Stealth. It's sturdy, it has a good feel to it, and I like to throw streamer. It seems to work really well for Euro streamers, okay? I can still Euro nymph with it, and I do Euro nymph with it. It's a good time. However, typically, I use for Euro nymphing, just nymphs, I use my Diamondback 10-foot 2 weight. But that's a different video. So, mid-range, I would go with an Orvis, a TFO, and that's usually between $100 to $200. Now, we're going to start getting into, when we talk about high-end reels, the Abels, the Rosses. These reels are super sophisticated. They're really good reels. They're very well put together. They'll last you for a long time. Do you need them? No. The only time I would justify spending a lot of money on a high-end Nautilus, a Ross, or a Abel reel is when I know I need a reel that's going to be able to hold its own when I go for fish like bonefish, permit, tarpon, redfish, name a saltwater species that just rips drag, okay, that will rip the rod right out of your hand if you aren't paying attention. Those fish. In fact, I've seen, I want to say it was a Ross. Yeah, Ross reel. They went bone fishing in the Bahamas for like, I think a week, and he caught like 100 bonefish on it. He actually burnt out a Ross reel. It's not a bad reel at all, but it was a freshwater type reel. You want to get, whenever you're going for these large sport fish, that's when you're going to spend big money. That's when you're going to spend $600 to $1,000. Okay. The reason you spend that much is, one, the materials can handle those really hard, fast drag pulls, and two, it will last through torture and salt. So, to reiterate, when you're first starting out, you only need a reel that basically is a line holder, so you can get used to the feeling of the line with your hand and managing. Okay, White River, Redington, great choices. Maybe an Orvis bait and kill if you can find one for about $80. Second, when you start getting a little bit more into certain types of fish, maybe some bigger freshwater species like a carp or steelhead that just rip drag, is when you're starting to the $100 to $200 to $300 mark. Okay, look for TFOs, look for some Orvises that are higher end like the Mirage, or some low end Rosses. Okay, they will. This one here is considered low end, was $360, and I my biggest brown trout I caught it on 6.5X, and the brown trout itself was almost 25 inches, probably weighed close to 6-7 pounds, and that did wonderful. And that's what you're going to do. The more you fly fish, the more types of fish and more size of fish you're going to go after. So when you're first starting out, 30 to 80 bucks, Redington, White River, maybe a Norvis, a bait and kill you can find for a good price. Start going up to maybe harder fighting fish, maybe bigger type if you're specifically, because me and my friend Vincent, we really like to target big brown trout. So again, a 25 to 30 inch brown trout is going to dog you. Okay, so you start going, when you start being more specific and more successful with targeting and catching big fish, you might want to get one of these. You might want to get something a little bit higher end. BVK, or I mean even this Sage right here. Like, this is a Spectrum C, and I've literally caught 20. I think the biggest rainbow I've caught in a long time was a 27-inch rainbow this reel. So I hope y'all found this informative, and you will be seeing me redoing the rest of these videos as far as like rods and stuff, nymphs, tippet, and all that mess. So I hope y'all enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you like this video, love a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. As always, guys, tight lines of lessons.